Hey guys, it's Greg Miliatis from Streamline, and today I want to talk to you about a tool that I created that will help you during these very uncertain times. So when things are uncertain, data can help provide certainty. So for example, during the Great Recession, I was working with literally dozens of firms across the country, and I saw different practice areas fare differently. For example, IP firms in practice areas declined typically, while foreclosure and bankruptcy practice areas were flooded with work. So I saw those effects both between firms and within firms, and your firm is probably very similar to that. But right now, you really have no way of knowing where your business is going. Is it declining, and if so, by how much, or is it stagnant, or is it growing? So what I did is I created a simple tool that lets you see exactly where your firm's going, whether it's growing, flat, or declining, using your existing exact ProLaw data. Before I show the tool, though, I need to give a little bit of background. So the key indicator for whether a firm is growing or stagnant or flat is the number of matters opened. The more matters you open, the more revenue you generate. And yes, some practice areas and some matters are much higher value or lower value than others, but in aggregate, the number of matters opened is a barometer for your firm's growth. Now, in ProLaw, it's actually pretty easy to see how many matters you opened in, say, a month or over 3 months or over a year. However, you cannot see the trend. So basically, you just have a snapshot, and you don't know where you've been, where you're headed, what direction things are going. So because you can't see the trend, I should say you can actually see a trend if you do a bunch of tedious copying and pasting into Excel from ProLaw reports and then do some configuration to create a chart in Excel. But the thing is, when you do that and you show that kind of a report to partners, or if you're a partner and you look at that report, it's going to become like the children's book When You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which if you haven't read it, it's a really cool book. Because once you give a mouse a cookie, he'll want a glass of milk, and then he'll want a straw to go with his milk, and then a napkin, and so on, so on, and so on. Because again, once the partners have a report like this, they'll want to look at different time periods, maybe over 6 months, or a year, or 5 years. Maybe they want to look at the time series by every week, matters open in a week, or every month, or every day, every quarter, whatever it is. Now, to do that all in ProLaw is going to require running lots of queries, and then lots of reports, and then copying and pasting all that data from all those reports into Excel, and then creating all the charts in Excel. So I don't know about you, but it just makes me tired and makes my head hurt just thinking about it. So there's actually a much faster and much simpler way, and this is the tool that I created. I'm going to show you here right now. So let's take a look. Okay, so like I mentioned, there's a much simpler, faster way to do this. So what I've created here is a report. It's a standalone report. We're just viewing it in a browser. And what we're going to do is we're just going to enter the information that we're curious to look at. So I'm going to enter a date range, or the ending date really, the number of days per time period. I'm going to look at a week at a time and say I want to look at that over the past year. So I'll enter 52 weeks, click that, and then here we go. We can see the exact trend over time, as well as the number of matters open for each of these periods that I've entered here, and the difference between one period to its prior period here, whether there was a growth or decline or whatnot. So it's super easy for us to see this. You can see exactly where your ship is sailing, and now you can use this to make more strategic decisions for things that you can control during these uncertain times. Things like how much time and or budget to invest in business development or marketing, or whether to increase or hopefully not decrease staff. So very strategic. And again, you can look at it for a week if you wanted to look at it over a 30-day period. Maybe you wanted to look at the last 2 years worth of things. It's super quick, super fast. You can even look at, say, the last 365 days. Maybe look at the last 8 years. And again, super quick, super fast, and gives you a trend line to see what exactly your firm is doing. Okay, so if you're interested in getting this tool, just call or email me for pricing and info on it. Usually I can install the tool the same day that you call, and there's my contact info there. So thanks so much, and hope this was useful for you.